The World Bank is warning that if the war between Hamas and Israel intensifies and spreads throughout the Middle East, it could send oil prices soaring by as much as 75%. Alan Rappeport has been covering this as an economic policy reporter for the New York Times, and he joins us now with more. So can you explain to our audience what analysts are saying about what could happen to markets and the global trade if we see a widening of this war beyond just Israel and the Gaza Strip?
Because most people will say, but these two countries don't produce oil.
Right.
What is the concern?
Right. So the concern is the surrounding region, and 75% price soar is significant.
Exactly. So, analysts are watching carefully to see how the trajectory of the war plays out and whether or not it, expands into a broader conflict. And what the World Bank was looking at in its most recent report that came out this week was how previous conflicts in the Middle East have played out and the impact of those conflicts on global oil prices. So what they did was they looked at a few different examples, the most extreme being 1973, when there was the Arab oil embargo. And that kind of situation, if 8 million barrels of oil a day were taken off the markets, they estimated that prices could go up over $150 per barrel, which is a 75% increase from where we are right now.
And so the World Bank is warning that the global economy could face a dual energy shock for the first time in decades if the conflict in the Middle East escalates. And it also has to do with sort of the other ongoing conflict, which is between Ukraine and Russia. Can you explain?
Exactly. Yeah, there's a very unique situation going on right now where we've already seen a lot of Russian oil taken off the market because of sanctions that Western allies have placed on Russian oil and Russian energy exports. So that's been very disruptive over the last year. And then you have this sort of second potential scenario where oil exports from the Middle East could also be taken off the market. So that's a big problem for economic policymakers as they've been trying to combat inflation over the last year, that oil and energy prices could start going up. And that, in fact, impacts a lot of other kinds of prices that affect people's pockets.
So far, the U.S. and Europe have managed to keep oil prices from spiking. How did they do that?
One thing that they did, the Biden administration, as well as the rest of the G7, implemented what's called an oil price cap last year, it's basically a sanctions policy or exception that was intended to try to curb Russia's oil and energy revenues while keeping as much of Russian oil as possible on the market. So they had two goals there, trying to put economic pressure on Russia without allowing prices to sort of spike around the world. It's been somewhat effective. They put a cap of $60 per barrel, which Russian oil could be sold using Western financial services and insurance products. But there has been some sort of leakage to that policy and some issues with the enforcement of it. So it's not really clear that if that could be expanded in any way to stabilize prices this time around.
Now, I think people are aware of the fact that here in the U.S., we have sort of oil reserves, right? We have the Strategic Oil Reserve. I think President Biden did release some, maybe during the pandemic, I can't remember. But
and also, the Middle East is not the only place we get our oil.
Right.
Venezuela and Russia and
completely.
Nigeria.
So in your article, though, you report that President Biden could release sort of a new round of oil from the nation's Strategic Petroleum Reserve. What would that do?
It's possible that's a measure that they could take to try and stabilize oil prices. That's something that was done last year ahead of the midterm elections. The Biden administration was accused of trying to play politics with gas prices essentially at that time. But officials have signaled that it's something that they could do again to stabilize oil prices. Again, those supplies are not infinite, though. And they did take some steps to try and restock those reserves when prices went down earlier this year. And it's something that I think is being considered. One factor that we've seen so far is that there is kind of a sluggish global economy, which has also kept oil prices somewhat contained so far. But it's something that could definitely spiral out of control, and that officials are watching if the war expands.
So how would that affect if oil prices do rise? How would that affect other industries like food and just general industry?
Well, it could create another bout of inflation, which central bankers, around the world have been trying to contain with rising interest rates. Oil prices and energy prices play into and feed into a lot of different industries, particularly food prices, because food needs to be transported around the world. It could also affect metal prices. And these things sort of end up feeding into a lot of different sectors that consumers can start to feel. Gas prices in particular, though, are people are very sensitive to, because they see those on their signs around the road, seeing how much prices they're paying for fuel.
Alan Rappeport, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.